This segment is sponsored by Travis W. Watkins Tax Resolution and Accounting Firm. It is Tax Tip Tuesday with Travis W. Watkins Tax Resolution and Accounting Firm. Principal and senior attorney with the firm, Travis W. Watkins, is here to talk taxes. Now, we've been hearing a lot of testimonials that actually of very happy clients. I imagine when clients come to you, maybe they're in some kind of tax problem, their world is just devastated because this is something you cannot get away from, and we're always afraid of taxes, the IRS, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, they've kind of built up a reputation for themselves as a tough customer when it comes to collecting those taxes, and what that results in is the folks that can't pay for one reason or another are usually coming to us just scared out of their minds.
Worst thing a person can do if they have tax problems, what is it?
Just waiting is the worst thing. Procrastinating, not taking care of the issue head on, talking to a local licensed attorney like myself to take care of the problem and just stare it down and figure out what's going on in the first place, and then taking some action with a plan to get it taken care of and back into the system.
Travis, you handle not only individuals but businesses as well?
Yes, probably on a 50-50 basis,
right.
I would say, yeah.
Okay, now imagine that you've had some great success stories, and people,
we have.
when they get on the other side of it, they're very, very happy about it as well. You got one particular story, over $1 million?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, you bet. Ron, his name is, came to us, and he and his wife were living essentially hand to mouth. They had some successful businesses back in the 90s that became unsuccessful because of one thing or another, and they just fell behind. This one was payroll tax issues. In other words, they didn't withhold enough from their employees' paycheck and pay it over to the IRS.
Okay.
And when you do that with payroll taxes, you invite the ire of the IRS in a very significant way. They can peg those taxes against the individual owners and come after them personally, even after the business has, gone belly up, which is exactly what happened in Ron's case.
Okay, let's find out exactly what he had to say about this.
You bet.
We had debt that was created to the IRS that we believed was inappropriate in some ways, and also inadvertent for sure. And so we struggled for years trying to pay this debt to the IRS, and they wouldn't leave us alone. They came to our offices. They came to our home. They continually badgered us to pay this, and even when we set up a payment plan, they continued to levy our bank accounts, put liens against our properties. And so it was a very, very difficult time for us as a family and as a business. There was a series of debts that continued to grow due to these problems that we had within the company. And so initially we owed somewhere around $600,000. And by the time they finished, they had increased that amount to $1.3 million. And there was no way that we were going to be able to pay that money. They were going to take all of our money from our businesses, or the majority of it. They even have an amount of money that they allow you to live on. And it's impossible for a $1.3 million debt. We paid about $8,000. My first reaction when I first heard about the settlement with the IRS was we started screaming and hollering and clapping and laughing. Everybody in the Travis Watkins office was so helpful and happy for us. But we're not living in fear anymore. We trusted in the Lord, we walked in faith, and He's answered our prayers.
Wow, I felt the stress him talking about that going through there. What can someone do if they are actually facing maybe a similar, maybe even not even to that extreme, but a similar situation?
Right, shut down the fear, take action right now. Call a local licensed tax professional like myself to get the ball rolling, get you back into the system, and position yourself better for an offer and compromise like we did with Ron.
All right, you're going to need a professional too, because he said, hey, they'll get the money. They're going to go after it. Travis W. Watkins, tax resolution and accounting firm. They're at 2837 Northwest 58th Street in Oklahoma City. Their number 405-607-1192. You can call them toll free at 800-721-7054. You can find them online at traviswatkins.com.